as Louisiana is bracing for the storm, and it is hitting as we speak, just to the east of that in Florida, they're bracing for a storm of their own in the form of a mosquito swarm. So in 2016, there's a headline that talked about the FDA calling out, saying that deploying genetically modified mosquitoes is environmentally safe. This was a preliminary finding of no significant impact after a small field trial. And at the time, Zika was the excuse. That was during the Zika outbreak. This was a big deal. It was grabbing the headlines. So this idea gained some traction there, but then it kind of floundered. A lot of people pushed back, and here we go. It pops in the headlines again. In June, it says they've received full FDA approval for release. So genetically engineered mosquitoes get FDA approval for Florida release despite objections from environmental groups. There was a change.org petition, over 230,000 signatures. The EPA's comment section had over 30,000 comments. Only about 56 of them were positive, were for this. Wow. Even the Center for Food Safety, a gentleman by the name of J.D. Hansen said, look, this is Jurassic Park without the island. He said the government basically has unlawfully refused to really study this thing fully because they don't really know what's going on. So
when I look at this, Jeffrey, I mean, right in the middle of it, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, it feels like these are the types of things that we should be allowed to vote on. I don't know why we just hand this over. Why does the FDA get to make a decision that is irreversible? We cannot reverse this, right? I mean, once you have 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes flying around, it's not like you can go out with a vacuum cleaner and get them back. This is a decision that alters the course of nature forever. And when we start making choices like that, and a couple of geeks that are probably getting, paid in the back, and who knows, right? I mean, corruption is always rampant. These are those moments that you just think to yourself, what could possibly go wrong? And why is it I don't have a say in the matter? We have no idea what this is going to do to the food chain, for instance. You got to imagine mosquitoes are base level of the food chain. There's so much we don't know about what we're doing here. I mean, who's behind this? Is this another, God complex moment by Bill Gates, or am I wrong about that?
Well, it's a UK company. They're recently bought by an American company. So I haven't tracked down exactly who is releasing these mosquitoes. Okay. I mean, I haven't seen any pictures of Bill Gates going out there and popping them out himself. But what we do know from the science is that, this was done in Brazil, Panama, Malaysia, way before Florida. And in Brazil, they did some of the first studies there, and it showed that these mosquitoes were breeding. So the idea was to take this species, give it a genetically modification, so the males breed with the females, and then their offspring don't live to adulthood. But what they found after a field experiment in 2013 to 2015 in Brazil, that the ones that were supposed to die weren't dying. So what they were finding was that they were some of them were growing up, and they were passing this genetic modification onto other mosquitoes. So they were having fragments of that modification within them. So like you said, 750 million mosquitoes are due to be released sometime after January 2021 in Florida, and also this is Monroe County, southern Florida. Also Harris County, Texas will be beginning sometime in 2021. It's interesting, the article says the location hasn't been determined yet. I'm wondering if that's because people will just take the boxes of eggs and move them, but that's just a speculation.
Well, it is like that famous moment too, right, in Jurassic Park, where you have the scientist and the mathematician. He's saying, we bred them all to be, what is it, males or females, I forget. And the one scientist, the Jeff Goldblum character, says, now nature finds a way. Nature always finds a way. This is the problem. We keep messing with nature. For some of us, that means messing with God. But however you look at it, we just never seem to have any foresight into the long-term consequences of the things we do. In fact, I think there's one thing that I've learned in all of my work now investigating science and really drilling down from the time that I was, looking at psychology when I was working on the Dr. Phil show, and then, of course, all of the medical journals when I was working on the CBS talk show, The Doctors, where I won an Emmy Award. You start recognizing that scientists are the most short-sighted, narrow-visioned human beings on the planet. And I mean that. I mean, they have a place, right? They have a goal, and they are so utterly focused on that goal that they deliver the exact point of the goal, but all the repercussions to the side, all of the side effects, any long-term damage or problems down the road, they don't even see it as their responsibility. Hey, I was just here to reach this goal, and I did it, and I want my award. The rest of you figure out the problems that I just created. If you like that clip, then be sure to check out our live broadcast of The High Wire every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You can watch it on Facebook, iTunes, and Twitter. We'll see you there.